Do you have a problem acquiring new vocabularies in Swahili? You landed in the right channel. In this video, I'm going to show you the best way to acquire vocabulary in Swahili without memorizing it. Don't memorize. When you want to acquire new vocabulary in Swahili or in any language without memorizing, what do? We have 4 things that you need to follow. How many? 4 things that you need to follow to acquire vocabulary. Listen keenly here. I'm talking about acquire, not memorize. Because even the natives acquired the vocabulary that they have. They acquired the Swahili that they have. And why are you memorizing? You too, you can acquire how the natives acquired. How did they acquire the vocabulary? I have 4 stages that you need to go through that I have prepared so that you can acquire the new vocabulary that you want. We have input, process, review, and output. Input, process, review, and output. So let's go through each one of them and see what I mean. So what is input? Input is basically getting things inside your head. So it is basically getting the vocabulary inside your head, but without memorizing. Avoid memorizing. How will you get the vocabulary inside your head? The first thing, listening. You can listen to music. You can listen to a movie. You can listen to a podcast. Another thing, reading. When you read new information, your brain is acquiring the vocabulary. It is passively acquiring the vocabulary. And how do you know what to listen to and what to read? You can go search on Google. And how do you know which topic to search on Google? Very simple. What are you interested in? What are you interested in? The most easy thing to do and the most important thing to do is to figure out first, what do you want to learn in Swahili? Do you want to learn about travel? Do you want to learn about cooking? Do you want to learn about the basic thing? Do you want to choose a specific topic that you want to learn? Then go search a specific story that is talking about that topic, and then you will get the vocabulary in there. The thing is to get the vocabulary that is targeted on that niche. Get the vocabulary that is targeted on that niche so that your brain can absorb them clearly, knowing that this vocabulary is from this particular thing. Okay? Instead of just reading everything and getting vocabulary everywhere. Let me tell you something. Your brain is a very, very powerful thing, but it needs a systematic way so that it can acquire things. Okay? So get things according to the niche that you want. If you want travel, go get travel. If you want basic, go get basic. Listen to the music. Repeat, repeat, repeat. Get the input. Okay? Get the input inside. Now, the second thing we talked about, process. What is a process? It's all about storing and analyzing the vocabulary. Now, listen here. You have gotten the input, but what other thing do you need to do? What is the next thing that you need to do? The process. You store and you analyze them. How do you store? Of course, your brain will store the information automatically when you listen to it again, and again. But you need the process so that you need to trigger your brain to remember. So what are you going to do? Your brain has stored the information, but maybe, and most of the chances are, it is not remembering the information. So how will you trigger it to remember the information? Take your notebook and go write. Maybe you are listening on the cooking podcast. Maybe you are listening on the traveling podcast. Go take a notebook. After the end of your week, maybe you've planned on listening to the podcast or doing this method in a week. So at the end of the week, go take a notebook. Write something that you can remember and describe how you think that thing is. Write them, describe. Write them, describe. And afterwards, go and listen to it again and see how amazing you will be understanding. Another thing, don't look at the translations. Don't look at the translations. Okay? Go do something that you know you are able to. Because translation is one of the things that will hinder you from thinking in Swahili. When you will be seeing a sentence in Swahili, you will want to translate because that is how you have trained your brain. Train your brain to see a word in Swahili and think in Swahili. How do you train it? Write the word down and try to describe it in Swahili. Try to think in Swahili, describe it in Swahili. And after some few months or some few time, your brain will get used to it. Your brain will now know, I need to describe it this way. I don't need to translate it. That is my number one secret that I use when I learn a new language. Now, I've told you about storing and analyzing. When you are analyzing, when you write a certain word that you have learned and you describe it the way you know, don't worry about the grammar, okay? I see most of my students worrying about the grammar. Oh, I'm not writing the perfect grammar. I'm not doing this about grammar. Don't worry about the grammar. Leave it aside first. Do your thing first, okay? Write the word, describe it in Swahili in whichever way you are thinking in Swahili that the word could possibly mean. Describe it in Swahili. Try to connect it to the story. What was the story talking about? What did this word what did they mean by this word? Try to think in Swahili and do it in Swahili. And you know, the benefit of connecting is that our brain was created in this perfect way that when you connect with something, it will be hard to forget. It will be hard to forget. And so when you connect, you acquire. Okay? The next step is to review. So what do I mean by review? I mean, go over the list of the vocabulary that you have written. Maybe you have written a list of vocabulary in the travel. Okay, in the travel section, you have written a list of vocabulary. So go through that list of vocabulary and then you can take the best and the most perfect way. You can take a picture of travel, someone who is traveling, and then go look at that picture. Try to identify those vocabulary. Maybe you said something like kusafiri. Then go to that picture. Can you identify that verb, kusafiri? You can ask yourself, what is this person doing? Where do you think this person is headed to? Why do you think this person tried to travel? Okay? When you ask yourself those questions in Swahili, you will be engaging your brain. Another one, maybe you can take a picture and see, like for instance in this picture, you can see this is a boy and this is a mother. The boy is angry because the mother is scolding him. You can start asking yourself, why is this boy angry? Why is this mother scolding the boy? What's the problem? You know, from there you are getting the vocabulary, but make sure the picture you are taking is from the context that you are reading. If you are reading about traveling, take a picture on traveling. If you are reading about family or if you are reading about moods and emotions, go take pictures that maybe people are angry, people are laughing, people are sad, okay? And try to describe the picture. I will create a Swahili comprehensible input on description of pictures next, okay? And the video will be here, suggested here. So watch out for that. The last part is output. So what do I mean by output? Output is basically removing. We talked about input, taking in. Now output is about getting out. So how do you get the information out? So you do it this way. You can do it by teaching other people. Like a video that I told you, it's a 20 seconds video that I told you the best method to learn is to teach. You can go watch it here. 20-second video. So how do you get the output? You can start by teaching others. Maybe you teach 3 people. The first person, you go tell them, oh, have you heard about this and this and this and this? I heard that from someone's video. I heard that from Swahili Kingdom's video. Did you know that it means this and that? Then you go, maybe on that, at that time you are not that confident speaking about it. Go to the second person. Try explaining the same concept in Swahili. Go to the third person. Explain the same concept in Swahili, and your confidence will be going higher and higher and higher. And you will be understanding. The more you teach, the more you understand. But get a minimum of 3 people, or you can even get a maximum of 3 people. Another thing of getting the output, you can go and look for language exchange apps. Try to find someone you can converse with. Try to talk to someone real. Because let me ask you a question. You are learning Swahili, right? Where do you want to use your Swahili? You want to use it with real people. So you need to start talking with real people. And the internet is so free. If you have the data, if you have the Wi-Fi, you can go use the internet. Talk to the people. Okay, that is a mode of output you can use. Another method, you can even come to a certain video of maybe Swahili, a Swahili certain video, even my videos. Comment down there with something that you have learned. Because when you do that, your brain remembers, your brain will remember. Just as one of my favorites says, what the hand does, the mind remembers. What the hand does, the mind remembers. So when you write down, your mind will remember. And that's all for this video. I hope I have helped you somehow. I hope you are going to improve in your Swahili. And make sure you subscribe, like, and share for more others to gain from this video. Because this is a very important video on acquiring vocabulary without cramming or memorizing them. Let's meet again in the next video.